proposal. Thanks for joining me today and for tuning into Zen Figure Reviews. Today we are going to be reviewing the Nightmare Frame Guren Type 2 from the figure line The Robot Spirits. This is based off the anime design from the anime series Code Geass. Now, if you've not heard of Code Geass, or you've heard of it but never have been able to watch it or wanted to watch it, I really do recommend you check it out whenever you get a chance. I personally believe this is one of the greatest anime series to ever be released, so if you get a chance, do check it out. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get to it. So this right here is basically what you're getting right out of the box. First, we have the figure, of course, with its accessories. By the way, we only get really 6 accessories with this figure, and I guess one of them can't really be counted as an accessory because it's actually part of the figure. It just comes, on the side, which is the piloting cabin. Alright guys, so these are all the accessories we get with the Nightmare Frame Guren Type 2. Now this release is the R number 136. I know they've recently released a Guren Type 2, same design for the Nightmare Frame itself, but they added a repair hand, so you have an option of either having the Radiant Wave Searcher as the arm for the Guren, or you also have this repair option that was used in the anime when the arm was destroyed. So that's a pretty cool option. I don't necessarily recommend you pick it up unless you want that extra accessory part. Other than that, you should be fine. I'm perfectly fine as is. I really don't need it, but do as you wish. Anyway, we have the cockpit that has outer lining, like if the cockpit somehow, some way could open, but hate to break it to you, it does not open. It's just, the look it has, but it doesn't open. Other than that, I can say from the cockpit itself, it's very cool, very accurate to the anime design, glossy finish to it, which is awesome. And well, it fits right into the back of the Nightmare Frame. And other than that, you have the, I guess, just option to be able to pose it with the Tamashi stand, and another option to pose with the Tamashi stand. These are all some sort of like indentions made into the cockpit to have that option. It's there if you need it or want it. We have the blade for the Guren, which is also very, very nicely painted. It has a gold flake finish at the blade itself, and here at the pommel we have a kind of jewel reddish color. It's also metallic. I'm not sure if you could also see that well on camera, but it's pretty cool. It does stand out, because all of the other colors on the blade are kind of darkish, metallic colors, and that red definitely gives it, an extra push to the aesthetic of the blade itself. Very, very nice. We have the slash harken here, which is also attachable to the Nightmare Frame. It's also pretty nice in terms of how it was made. It has this sort of flexible wire, which is this black piece here, and you can pose it in any way you'd like, I guess. I've not gone to any extreme angles because I do feel you're not going to be very happy with the result if you do that, but I guess if they made it this way, it's for you to play around with it, I guess. Here are the hands we have as options for posing the figure. This is an open hand. It's just for posing, making the Nightmare Frame look cool, and it's very nice, very nicely detailed, and very cool. Here is a closed fist, always a viable option, a closed fist, very nice. And of course, the only hand that has a specific purpose, which is the gripping hand for the blade itself. and very, very nicely detailed as well. Other than that, guys, we really don't have anything to add on this particular figure in terms of accessories. What you see is what you're getting. As I said, that's all there is to it. So let's get into the articulation. So for the articulation of this figure, we have the head on a ball joint. You're able to move up and down, side to side, and just, all out circular movements you can do. You're also able, because of that ball joint, to push the head forward and push the head back. So you do have that option as well. For the arms, you have also, I guess, a ball joint here, and you're able to do this all around, so that's pretty cool. You are able to go out a bit here on the arm from the shoulder part, and you are able to stretch it out. This kind of armor thing is a little bit posable, so you can move that around to get it out of your way whenever you're trying to pose the arm. The Wave Surger has a very neat option here that you are able to stretch it out just as in the anime to, make the arm longer to reach your enemies at a mid-range distance, and you can straighten it out also like that. So that's awesome to have as an option. You can also move the hand itself. You see each one of these fingers individually articulated. Now, you don't get a bend at the finger joint, but you do get a bend here at the main finger movement. And the red dot is awesome. You are able to pose the hand like that, so it's looking, really great. That's a really cool arm. All right, so the waist here has, I guess, like two separate ball joints. One that is midway through the waist, and the one that's connecting, the bottom, kind of like where the hips are. But you are able to get a bit of movement there, side to side, also back and forth. And the bottom part also has the same movement, so it gives you an extra range for the, leaning back and extra range leaning forward. More leaning forward than back, but it does work quite well. You can go to the side, to the side, and it works, I guess. There we go. So both sides works perfectly fine. Then we can move on to the legs. Now, the legs are a bit hindered by this kind of band here. It's made out of soft plastic, but I really wouldn't stress it too much if I were you, because even though it's placed in a way where it still allows the legs to have a bit of movement, with time, I guess you could end up kind of splitting or cracking the plastic, because it is soft plastic. So that's totally up to you. Anyway, so we have the leg. Like I said, I would probably get it around that much forward, because again, I don't want to stress out the plastic band. You can get it back as well, a little less, because he also has a plastic band here, and I'm a little bit worried about actually stretching that out too much, but that's all for it. These things are set. They are not movable or posable. They are just there, and they don't spin or do anything. Just stay there. The knees, double hinged knees, and gives you pretty good range when moving back. You also have the ankle, which is, I guess, just fairly basic. You don't get too much out of that, just, that much. Also on a ball joint, pardon me. And yeah, well, then you should have some side-to-side movement. Oh, yeah, very little. I wouldn't do it too much, because you see these spikes here? They may end up scratching this part, or vice versa. So yeah, I guess you shouldn't play too much around with it. And you have this movable spiky things for the hip of the hip. For the ankle. That's about all there is. Just moves up and moves down. I guess just when you're trying to pose it, you have to kind of mess around with it to get it to sit, in a position where it'll hold the figure up. And then we have, the land spinners. These things are awesome. I mean, I have to say, these things are great because, first of all, they're, retractable, just like in this series. They're not sticking out all the time, and they, in difference to the Britannia frames where they're on the side, these things kind of, hide on the back of the calf, right? Yeah. Anyway, so these things spin, pretty cool. Same thing goes for the other side. Same movement on the ankle. Same for these spikes here at the back, and same for the land spinner. So that's basically it. Now, the arm here on his left side has this thing here, which is, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, correct me, but this was some sort of missile that was launched or something from here. I mean, it's not removable in this figure, but in the anime, I guess that's what it was. And if it wasn't, I thought it was for that. But anyway, you have the elbow is on a double hinge, gives you that much. Hand, is on a ball joint, so you get all that good circular movement. The arm itself is on a hinge, so you get outer movement, in and out. That's what you get, in and out. Again, posable. Is this posable? Yes. Kind of guard here for the arm, and that's basically it. Now, here in the back, you see that they have some sort of like attachments that seem to be movable towards the back, but I don't really find them too useful, at least not with anything so far. So I guess that goes for the articulation. It's well enough articulated for you to be able to pose it in different ways. So guys, that's basically it for the figure. What you saw in terms of accessories is what you're getting. The articulation is what you've seen. So other than that, I guess, would I recommend this figure? Definitely. Personally, I guess part of the biggest aspect of the figure in terms of why I like it is the quality of the figure. It's very well done all around. It has very nice plastic that is already molded with the paint. It's absolutely gorgeous. So if you have the opportunity to get your hands on one of these, go for it. It's a good buy. It's not too expensive. Even now that it's been re-released, it's still at a very good price. Plus you get an extra hand arm piece for this figure. So if you have a chance, pick it up. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video.